Hey PSY101 students, welcome to the instructions on how to do the research paper. I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to do the rough draft as well as the final draft. And I'm also going to show you some helpful APA references and some hints on how to properly format that for your reference page as well as your in-text citations. So the first thing that I wanted to go over is just kind of what the research paper is. So I'm going to click on that from the home page. All right, so you're gonna see the first thing on the first tab is the instructions for the rough draft, and then you have the final draft. So I'm gonna go over the rough draft first, and then I'm gonna show you where you can find like the templates and examples and all that. So if you click on the rough draft instructions, it will download, and you can see it here. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So the purpose of this paper, or this assignment, I should say, is for you to find two different research articles on the same psychological topic. And that's really, really key that you find a psychological topic. So make sure that whatever topic you select has to do with psychology. If you're not sure, send me an email or ask me, and I will be able to clarify if the topic you choose is psychological. So one of the studies that you find is going to look at qualitative research or some sort of qualitative methodology, and the other one is going to be using quantitative. All right. So the biggest thing between the two of those, if you aren't exactly sure, I wanted to go over the differences between quantitative and qualitative before I do anything else. So what is the difference between these two things? Okay. So number one, quantitative data. You're looking at something that is measurable relating to numbers. So you're going to see studies where they're using some sort of statistical analysis, where they're analyzing data through different types of ANOVAs or different types of p-values. And if you don't know what that is, that's okay, because you're going to read about that in your studies. And that's really more objective data that they're finding, because they're measuring something using like some sort of survey or some sort of questionnaire, and you're looking at the statistical analysis and the stats behind that. So if you ever take stats, or you take specifically like behavioral stats just related to psychology, you will find that mostly all of those studies are quantitative in nature. So when you're looking at qualitative studies, that's more descriptive. So you're trying to figure out how to understand like why something's happening or how it's happening, and basically in different behaviors or situations that are occurring. So this is more subjective in the information that you're getting from the data, because these are more observations and they're more interviews from people. Okay, so it's like why people feel certain ways, right? So those are the two differences. So you need to find one quantitative study, one qualitative study about the same psychological topic. All right, so that is the first key thing to do. You're going to find your articles either through Google Scholar or through the library. All right, and I'm going to go over exactly how you can do that, and we'll kind of go through that together. Before I do that, I just wanted you to kind of see what you have to do for the research rough draft. This is a rough draft, or kind of an outline of what you're going to be doing in terms of the two studies that you find. And then you're going to be picking out the key information and facts of each one and just put them into bullet points. Okay, so you're looking again at the same topic for each of these studies, but you're looking at it in a different way of qualitative versus quantitative. So the first one, you're looking at your topic. So state whatever psychological topic that you're selecting, and then you're going to list both the quantitative and qualitative references in APA. All right. And then your variables. For the qualitative study, you're going to identify the central phenomenon or the theme, and it will tell you that. And for the quantitative study, you're going to look at the independent and dependent variables, and if there's any controls as well. Then you're going to be looking at the participants. So you're going to describe the sample size, so how many people were involved, the demographics, so what are their ages, what are their genders, or cultural backgrounds, anything that it lists, and then how participants were selected. So it will say how they were selected, where they were found, or why they kind of chose these specific participants for this study. Then the measurement instrument, you're going to list for the qualitative study, whatever that is, such as an interview, a focus group, or some sort of observational tool. And then for the quantitative study, you would list that scale, that questionnaire, the survey, whatever it is that they use to gather the quantitative data. The results, you're just going to list very briefly the findings of each one. And again, these are all bullet points, so they don't have to be full sentences. They could be thoughts or just jot down the information just so you know what to put when you write your entire paper. And then your rough draft requirements, you may not write in the first person. So you can't say, I did this. You have to say, this study showed, or the research showed, and you would write it in the third person. That's how you would do that. And then you would use the template that I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. So that is the main idea for your rough draft. All right. So I'm going to go back here. These are the instructions. We're going to go to your templates and your student examples. This is the template right here. So I'm going to download that. And this is what it looks like in Word when you download it. So again, everything that I just went over, I kind of lay it out for you in this template. So you're going to list the references. You're going to list the topic, list your variables for each study, the participants for each study, the measurement instruments for each study, and then the results. Okay, again, in a bulleted format, this doesn't have to be full sentences. Just make sure that you don't write in the first person. All right, so when you get done with this, it should look something like this. This is a rough draft student example. So you'd have your topic. So a random topic is the impact of mindfulness on stress reduction. We have 2 different APA references written out in APA form. You have your variables. So you have your qualitative study, your quantitative study, the different variables that are in each. Your participants. So you're going to be listing out each one. Okay. So the first one, qualitative, had 15, quantitative had 120, which is pretty normal because you're specifically usually asking these people in qualitative studies specific questions. So you can have less people as opposed to having someone fill out a questionnaire. And then you're having your measurement instruments for each one and your results. This is what it looks like. It's not very long. It's basically a summary of what you're going to be writing about. Okay. All right. So this is going to be, again, located here for your template and here for your student example. All right. So remember, you're going to select one psychological topic. You're going to find 2 different studies on the same topic, one quantitative, one qualitative. You're going to download the template. You're going to fill in the template, and it should look just like this rough draft that I just showed you. All right. So maybe you're asking, okay, well, how do I do that? APA references and resources are right here. So anything that you need to know about APA, there's the formatting guidelines if you need help with that. There's a PowerPoint presentation if you need to understand how to do that. And then there's Google Scholar, okay? If you've never used Google Scholar, which you should have used maybe for your first discussion, then this is a great opportunity to go ahead and start learning how to do it. It's actually fairly simple. If you click on Google Scholar, it will take you to the website, which is basically like Google, but it's different because you're searching through just academic articles. All right. So anything that you type in here, it will pull up just academic articles, and then you can find and search for it this way. If you click on, here, it will take you to All About Google, and it will have different overviews. So if you click on these, it will kind of give you an idea of how to use Google Scholar properly. There's a search as well. How do I search by author? And then how do you access it? Okay. And it will show you that as well. Another really cool thing about Google Scholar is that when you find the article that you want to use and you're not exactly sure how to reference it, it will show you how to write that perfectly. Okay. So here's an example. If you want to use it, you can try it out. You can click on this link. This takes you to just a study. So let's say that you wanted to do your study about social media and happiness and millennials. This is the study you want to use. If you click on this site right here, it will then show you how to cite all of these different ways in terms of MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard, Vancouver. We are a psychology course, so we're going to be using APA since it's the American Psychological Association. You would then click, copy this, and then you would paste this into your template. All right, so let's do that. Copy. We're going to go to our template. You could list it right here. Paste. And then the only last thing that we would need is if we would actually go here And then we need to find the hyperlink. All right, so if you want to do this, copy, paste, then we have it. We have our APA formatted reference, and we have the hyperlink of where to find this article. Not too bad, right? Pretty simple. So that's how you would use Google Scholar in your favor to basically have everything cited in APA. Remember, find the article, select cite, select APA, go back, get your hyperlink, put it on the very bottom. All right. So those are just a few things to kind of get you started. Hopefully that's not too difficult in terms of how to find everything for the templates and for the instructions. Start brainstorming of what you want to do your research paper on, but this is kind of the starting point, and I'm here if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video about the final draft. Good luck, guys.